Okay, today we are playing a game on the Temple of Anubis. We are in the Gold SR range, and we will be playing roughly half the game as Zenyatta and roughly half the game as Mercy. And our current team composition is Reinhardt, Roadhog, Pharah, Widowmaker, Ana, and Zenyatta. So I think Ana's pretty good right now for the current meta, because there's not very much dive around, basically. And when so much of the meta currently revolves around, like, Graviton, having the grenade to throw into the Graviton just makes it a little bit more consistent that you don't get fucked by Zenyatta. But, having said that, we have a Pharah and a Widowmaker who are two really good DPS to play with Mercy. Not to imply that there are many bad DPS to play with Mercy. You get the idea, though. So, also, Roadhog instead of Zarya, how sad. Please pick Zarya instead of Roadhog. Roadhog's a very sad hero. And we have Barrage to combo with Graviton. So, anyway, so let's just start the game. So there are a few specific questions which I have open over here, which we will attempt to talk about as we go through. So I'll have to actually look at the timeline. Unthinkable. So, we gotta try and push our way in. So Ana's not very good at healing Pharah. Counterintuitively, considering she is Pharah's mother. So, we'll probably want to put the Harmony Orb on Pharah as much as possible, because we're better at healing her than Ana is, basically. Ana might just flatly not be able to heal Pharah based on where we are at the time as well. So, trying to push our way up through the left-hand side. Reinhardt's shield is about to break. Our Reinhardt didn't countercharge him. I hate this shit. Like, dude's got in fucking infinity years to react to this Reinhardt charging, and he still doesn't countercharge him. In the end, he ends up pinning him in response and killing him, but what if what if somebody behind him got killed? That's the thing. Even if you can get out of the way of the other Reinhardt charging, it's still usually better to countercharge them, because sometimes you get out of the way, and then the Mercy behind you gets pinned. That happened to me just the other day. I got caught in my own trap. I was like, I can get out of the way of this. Fucking Mercy got squashed behind me, and I was like, God damn it. I knew I shouldn't have done it, and I immediately got punished for it. Anyway, so we've started making our way through. Their Reinhardt is dead. We got a question coming up. Their Reinhardt's dead. They have a Bastion. Bastion's dead. Oh, do not peek the corner again when you are at 50 hit points as Zenyatta. We're already easy enough to kill a Zenyatta, being that our hitbox is literally a floating cube, very easy to hit. Shooting Zenyatta is a lot like shooting one of the ducks at a fairground, honestly. So, we do not need to make it easier for them by peeking when we are really low health. Really want Mercy dead. Mercy's dead, mostly just because of Ana. So, here's a question. It is, Misfest here, what should I do to try to help with that? Just like the easy answer is just practice a lot till your aim gets better. But just like slow way down, basically. If I'm playing Zenyatta and I'm really trying to shoot someone, if I'm really trying to shoot anybody, I just start tapping at that point. I do usually hold down left click. But, like, if I'm trying to hit, so, like, in this position, just, like, slow way the fuck down. And just, like, focus on landing some shots on him. Like, real Jedi about it. Just, like, slow way down. Chill. And, take a little bit of extra time to line up the shot rather than just spamming it out there. So, the next question is very close. So, we've got the Transcendence built up. We're still winning the fight. He did countercharge him that time. Then he got tranked and made purple. It's basically the worst series of events possible for the Reinhardt. So we've captured this checkpoint. Basically, we've captured the checkpoint. Okay, I couldn't remember if we actually captured it there. So we've got Transcendence. We got a lot of ultimates built up. Who did we not have our ultimate for? We don't have Infrasight, though we basically have it. Infrasight builds really quickly, and Ana's halfway towards her ultimate, which is basically like 2/3 of her way there, because Ana builds her ult really quickly as well. Unfortunately, not a lot of our ults really have much in the way of synergy. Like, the best synergy we have is Earth Shatter, Barrage, but let me tell you what's gonna happen. As soon as Reinhardt Earth Shatters, I've been the Reinhardt in this position so many times. I know. Roadhog's gonna be like, I ult too. And then he just scoops the entire enemy team to safety. Oh my god, nothing makes me want to die more than when I see the enemy, the Roadhog just... I'm gonna save the entire enemy team. Hold on, give me one moment. Oh god, video editing's gonna have to be done. Alright, we're good. We're good. So, Roadhog is gonna be like, I'm gonna scoop the enemy team to safety. They always do. They always fucking do. Upsets me a lot. So here it is here. Oh god, oh all my tabs over here got fucked up. Oh no, oh Jesus Christ. So let's wait until it actually happens before we talk about it. So it's based around this Winston right here. We see Winston is going in on Widowmaker right now. We come back to try and help the Widowmaker. And Anna's also come back to help the Widowmaker, which is getting a bit excessive at that point. We do indeed kill the Winston. So over here we have, in a few seconds when the enemy Winston jumps on our team, I decide to go back to help Widow. That Widow basically died all game long. That being said, by doing so, I wasn't healing the rest of the team that was attempting to push. Was it a mistake on my part to go back to Widow, or should it just have been communicated better so the rest of the team waits? So I think that's perfectly fine. The unfortunate thing is just that Anna also comes back with us, because when we talk about, like, team healing, we're not really thinking about, like, Lucio or Zenyatta, right? So if Anna stayed with the rest of the team, that'd be fine. And, like, she's not really going to bring that much to helping us save Widowmaker, so I think this would have been fine if Anna didn't also come back here. Now, you know, you can also argue that us coming back here is bad, because, it's taking, like, at this point, Winston is basically successful, because he got multiple people to come back to deal with him. But he does die at the same time, so it's not like he gets away with it. So I think that would have been fine if Anna had just stayed with the rest of the team, seeing as she is the main healer and all that. So, but she decided to come back with us. So Farah used her ultimate over there, only killed Bastion. Like, this push is not destined for good things. We have to wait to regroup now because a bunch of people died. So I think that would have been fine to do if... right through the fucking neck as well, damn. She's like, what the fuck, Reinhardt? So, no, I think it would have been fine if Anna didn't come back with us as well, but unfortunately, she did. So we got Winston over here right now. We're right next to our whole team, so he's not going to get much done with that one. We harass him a little bit. None of the enemy team are, like, in any way pushing up to try and be aggressive on us, so that's fine. Roadhog, he gets res, but we've got Roadhog right here to hook him again, but then Roadhog dies to Bastion. So, there's an argument to be made here for using your ult to save Roadhog. Because we see him get really low, like right here. There's an argument to be made for using it to save Roadhog. Because if it looks like Winston is gonna die from this position, but we know he ends up not dying. And they don't have... really any ults for us to negate. They have Hanzo, but they don't have a Zarya, so you can just kind of stand out of the way of the dragon if they don't have the Zarya. So there's an argument to be made for using it to save Roadhog right there, but simultaneously, Farah was dead at the time because she got killed by Hanzo, and frankly, like, Roadhog was walking around in front of a Bastion, so... you know, what did he expect at the same time? So we ended up missing the health kit right there. Unfortunate. Happens. Where are we at in the timeline? Next question's miles away. No problem. So, okay. We've got Nano Boost, Graviton, not Graviton, Earth Shatter, and Transcendence. I wish we had Graviton. Here comes Winston. Took us a little bit of time to put the Harmony Orb on Anna, but it's all fine. Winston's doing that, which was, like... Don't do this. Like, don't do what Winston's doing right now, because this is what we call a profound waste of time. So, he comes out here, and he's trying to kill Anna. Anna's in the middle of her entire fucking team, so how is he realistically gonna kill Anna? He isn't, unless literally our whole team is blind and deaf, right? So, that's stupid. But then he uses his ultimate as well. What's he gonna do? what's this ultimate ever going to achieve other than feed us a bunch of ult charge? It's going to do absolutely nothing. He's never going to kill anybody. He's going to end up just using it to run away. He shouldn't have been doing what he was doing to begin with, but then he doubles down on it, dies anyway, even though he got out still. He's like, I can do it. I'll come right back fucking in again. Motherfucker. What did he expect to happen? Like, was he just expecting to be able to kill Ana and Zenyatta in the middle of their entire team? It's not gonna happen. So, Pharah's fucking dead. Hanzo's fucking dead. We have Hanzo now. And, so we're gonna be waiting, for our team to regroup. Hanzo is better than Widow, especially seeing as they have a Bastion. Because we can just drag and strike right through the point, and Bastion's gonna have to move. So we gotta wait for the DPS to regroup, waste a bunch of time. So we do almost have, so what have we learned? Don't play arches. That's definitely true. Like, they've definitely died enough times for doing it at this point. Pharah's still playing the arches. So, again, they don't really have an ultimate for us to negate, so we can just kind of use Transcendence to try and keep people alive if we have to. There, Reinhardt comes up behind us, we take the pin in Transcendence, so he ends up killing nobody. And look at that, we just managed to waltz on with our ultimates. And I believe we win. Here comes Bastion. You better put that fun down, young man. Oh, Bastion's looking dangerously close to having a good time. Earth Shatter, Barrage. Sit down. Okay, so we captured the checkpoint. No problem. Bastion's upset. So even though we didn't have, like, a great combo of ultimates, it still all worked out. They had to move from the Dragon Strike, and then we come in with the why do I keep saying with the Graviton? With the Earth Shatter and the Nano Boost, and we just finished them off. And their Reinhardt was, like, trying to flank us at the time as well, so... after we used the Earth Shatter to finish off Bastion, didn't we? How could I have forgotten, seeing as I was just laughing at it a second ago? It's been one of those days, okay? It's been a very stressful day of doing largely nothing, as I do most of my days. So now we must defend. We ended with time to spare, 3 minutes, so... oh. We've all played with that guy before. So, well, I'm not crazy about the combo of DPS we had. Oh, that's very sad. Because we've got, Widow and Mei. Now, Widow we've already kind of established by this point is not a fantastic player based off the last round. But Mei and Widowmaker is a really low damage team. Like the other, like, our tanks are Winston and Reinhardt, and then Ana is the main healer. So, like, we have a really low damage team. Unless Mei and Widow are gonna pick off a lot of people back to back, they're just gonna push in on us. Now, we're pretty durable as far as teams go, so it would take them a while to kill us once they arrived, but we kind of have very little chance of actually killing them because of our team comp at the same time, so... I'm not crazy about that. So our whole team's dead. You know, we lost one of our DPS right at the start. Like, honestly, just die. Like, just don't even drag it out. Like, it's over at this point. Going back and hiding over here is just going to drag our death out a little bit longer. Death is coming for us. There's no way we get out of here. And we end up regenerating a little bit of health, so we feed them a little bit more ult charge as well by dragging the death out. Like, the death is coming. Now it takes us a little bit longer to regroup as well, so the fear as well is if you do something like that, they can snowball across both points right afterwards. But that doesn't quite happen in this situation. Just die in that situation. Just take that. Just, you know, just hold this. So, our Widowmaker's dead, again. You might be wondering, how the fuck did she die over there? That's an excellent question. Let's go back and look at what she was doing. Like, even further back, because she's already in that position. So she was on the arch, she killed Hanzo, and then... She jumped off because Reaper teleported next to her, it looks like. and then died by Reaper to Reaper, died to Reaper right there. I was about to say something way worse right there. Reaper is very close to another word that's a lot less good. He said implying Reaper was a particularly good word, given that it is about literally ending people's lives. But it's hard to take it that... Like, it's hard to take it that way when you remember that Reaper is actually, like, a 40-year-old dude who is, going around calling himself Death, right? Like, he's older than that, isn't he? He's like 50 even. Like, it's hard to take Reaper seriously when you remember who he is and what he's doing. Anyway. Yes, I am saying that this game is hard to take seriously when, you know, obviously it's so sensible. We've got fucking super genius monkey with jetpack from the moon over here. This is a very sensible game. And today they added, or yesterday they added Hamtaro in a giant mech. So, yeah. So Reaper creeps up on us right there. What am I talking about? Oh god, this is gonna be one of those videos that I look back on like, oh god, how could you have found it within you to publish this? And then he does it anyway. So, we know Reaper, yeah, we know Reaper is on the left-hand side because he's shooting at us from across the way. And then our team goes off this way, so he just ends up coming in on us. So, because of where the enemy team is, we want to position slightly differently. We don't want to go this way, because going this way across the point is just putting us closer to the enemy team, because they're all on the left-hand side. And there's nowhere safe to be over here, right? Even if they just, like, jump down in the pit, they can just, like, jump on us really quickly. So we want to be hanging out more on this side of the point, because then they do have to navigate the entire point to get to us, whereas here they just zip right up onto us. And they just end up killing us. And their team is, you know, they got a Reaper on their team, so they're pretty short range. So we want to be more over there rather than over here. So over here we have, it says in this question, I do know I have a Reaper on me here, but I find that retreating behind the point is rarely a good option. Where should I stand on this point as Zen? So yeah, if you get funneled into the closet behind the point, that's usually bad. So basically, with objectives in this way, you want to retreat to the opposite side the enemy team is pushing on, right? So if they were pushing up this way, where we're standing right now would be fine, because they would have to navigate the whole point to get to us. But because they're pushing up on the left-hand side, we flip that, we want to stand over here, because then they have to go across the whole point to get to us, and ideally through our whole team as well. Any kind of objective like this, basically that's the way you do it. Like, if we imagine, like, any other map, imagine, like, Volskaya's first checkpoint, right? The enemy team can go left, they can go right. If they're going left, we want to stand on the right-hand side, because then they have to go across the whole point, right? Let me try and draw this. So if we got, like, the box from Volskaya, right? If they're going that way, we want to stand on this side, because then they got to go that way. Whereas if they're pushing that way, we stand over here, because then they have to get across the whole way to get to us. And you might say, well, what if I do that, and they go that way, I'm over here, but then, like, one of them comes this way? Well, the answer to that is just be more aware of if somebody's coming that way, because you'll still have ample warning that they're coming, and then you retreat back. And if we imagine, like, Blizzard World, right, which has got, like, that kind of arrangement, if they go that way, we stand over here. If they go that way, we stand over there. We just want to be on the opposite side of the objective to them, basically, because then they have to go through the hopefully our entire team to get to us, and they have to cover a long distance as well. It is true that being back here is a bad time. If you get funneled into there, you're probably not long for the world, especially as an immobile hero like Zenyatta as well, who doesn't really like people touching him that much. That question's miles away. Okay. So, it's okay, you know, it's 2 CP, it's Temple of Anubis, probably the worst 2 CP map. No, Hanamur is the worst 2 CP map, let's be real. Anubis is close second, though. So we get back out here pretty quick. We got Transcendence if we have to use it, but by this point we're already winning the fight. So, easy peasy. I'm not sure if their Reaper used his ultimate during that fight. I'm not gonna go back to check, either. Reaper is basically the only one on there to... Oh, no, they have a Pharah now as well, so we might want to use it for that. They also have a Zarya. Yeah. Oh, they have the Ana, though. Oh, isn't that going to feel bad if we get sucked into the Graviton? And she throws the grenade on us, so... Reaper just changed to Widowmaker. I don't support that decision, really. I mean, yeah, they have a, Pharah, but, I mean, like... I'll be perfectly honest with you, this is mostly based off the fact I think Widowmaker is bad. Like, the player, personally, is bad. Widowmaker as a hero is fine, but she is bad at Widowmaker. So I would rather they played like Soldier, or McCree, or Hanzo, you know, a little bit of an easier hero to play than Widowmaker. So Nano Boost coming in, we should have used Trance right there. And... we don't want to be honest, because, like, you don't want to have to use Transcendence to save yourself. But at this point, we're gonna die here if we don't use Transcendence. And if we die right now, there's a good chance we just lose the fight. Because we know that their Reinhardt is also coming in with Nano Boost, so they're gonna try and commit to this fight. And then, hindsight's 20/20, you know, they end up using Graviton as well, so we would have been able to use it on both of them, probably. Instead, we end up just using Transcendence to get back to the objective faster. We should have used it to survive right there, because there's a good chance we just don't get back in time from that position if they actually win the fight. So, but how could we have also not been in this position to begin with? So we know they're all coming up the middle this time. So basically, cursor's on the screen, so basically... we know they have a Reaper on their team, so what we want to do is try and identify as quickly as possible where their Reaper is. And I just saw Reaper. Reaper is right there. He's jumping on the left-hand side. So, because they're coming down the center, either side of the point is equally safe as far as that goes. But Reaper is probably not going to push in with them because he's a flanky hero. So, this basically, or Pharah as well could do that, but Pharah's pretty easy to locate. So basically where we want to stand now is dictated largely by where Reaper is. So we see Reaper coming this way, so we want to try and rotate around the right-hand side of the point as quickly as possible to get away from Reaper. Because he's the one that's going to kill us, probably. If they're pushing down the center, yeah, like either side is equally safe. So it's largely dependent on just which way, the enemy, like which way their flanker is coming, if they have a flanker. If they don't have a flanker, then it gets a lot easier at that point, because then you just stay away from the enemy team, right? So, Transcendence thing, when Transcendence is running out, use the last second or two to reposition to a safer location. So we come over here to heal these people. Okay, great, they're healed now. Start backing up. Because instead, we come out of Transcendence touching the people that want to be touching us. And we would have gotten earth-shattered regardless. Like, there's no way we get back far enough that that doesn't happen to us. But just a general Transcendence thing is, once it's down to the last, like, 1-2 seconds, start backing up, because you don't want to come out of Transcendence right next to the enemy team. Because Zenyatta very easy to kill when he's right next to you. So we want to back up and get to a safer location. We do have a question coming up. So there we've got Primal Rage, and that's it. Nothing else is anywhere even close to being available, so that's quite sad. They have Beyblade and Barrage. Now that's scary, right? That's scary. And we're not gonna have Trance for that, so that's unfortunate. That's just, like, life, is that, like, this is how Zenyatta is, where there are often too many things to Transcendence all of them in one game, right? Especially with, like, the collection of heroes that are currently popular. It's like, they have, like, a Hanzo and a Pharah. You can only use Trance for one of them, right? Like, and then if they've got, like, Zarya, Earth, Reinhardt as well, like, you can't Transcendence all of their ultimates. So it's like... all you can do is Transcendence, like, the first one you think is going to kill you, or your team, and then hope that the rest of them don't kill your team. It's just kind of how Zenyatta is, unfortunately, because... what else are you supposed to do, right? Like, if one of the ultimates is threatening to kill your team, you use it for that one, and then if they play correctly, they'll just save other ultimates to use after Transcendence ends. And there's not a lot you can do about that. So we didn't have it for any of these ultimates right here, because we used them we used trans previously. Like, we would have used trans during that fight. There's like no way it doesn't happen. So life is difficult. So the question is, I'm bad at Lucio, just figured I'd try something to stall. Is it better to just wall ride on point or to just stay by the door and taxi people out? And the answer to that question is, it depends if you think you're going to lose before your team gets there. So if we respawn right now and we go, alright, so we've got nobody on the point, they're capturing it right now, then we just wall ride out there to get there as quickly as possible, because we need to start stalling as quickly as possible. But we respawn right here, and we see that Winston is out here in Primal Rage, so he is going to be contesting the objective for long enough. So we can just taxi people out instead. And I mean, the way Anubis is, that like wall riding, you'll probably end up taxiing people out regardless, just because of the geometry of the map, but it depends on if you think you're going to lose the game or not, basically, before you can get your team out there. If you think you will, then you just wall ride to get there as quickly as possible. If you think you won't lose by then, you taxi people out. Because if you've got enough time, you want as many people on the point as possible at the same time to try and stall it out. So the next one is real close, actually. The next question. I mean, we end up losing the objective right there. They've got slightly more time than us, but not that much more, so it's hardly the end of the world. We've gone past the question. So it's actually, I'm guessing it's based around team composition. I think it might have been a good idea to stick to Zen here, since we already have a main healer. Pharmacy is strong, though. I don't know. So, yeah, that's true. What does the other person pick? Because... So our team comp's pretty awkward right now. So Pharmacy is really strong. That's true. So the way I see it, like the ideal situation right here would be Mercy, Bridget, Zenyatta, if we're going to go with this kind of composition, right? But if we're going with, like, it's difficult because Pharmacy is really strong, particularly on a map like Anubis. But our team, like, we've only got one tank also, because we got triple support right now, but 2 DPS, so there's a few ways you can go. Like, this is fine in and of itself. It's not the worst, because we've got Pharmacy, and then we got basically, if our team comp looks something like this, we can go off and just stay with Pharah the entire time, right? Because they've got 2 healers to look after the rest of them, and one of them's a main healer. So we can basically just hang out with Pharah the entire time, and then this core of people over here is pretty difficult to kill, because it's Anna with the healing buff on everybody, Bridget's in there, McCree's got hard crowd control, and then Reinhardt's threatening close range. So this group of people is pretty hard to kill, and then we're off doing our own thing, and we shouldn't really have to worry about them from that position. Now, there's a couple of ways it branches off from there. So there is, like, the way that's, like, this person's Mercy instead of Anna, and then we got Bridget Zenyatta. That's, like, probably the ideal situation, honestly, because then we've still got Pharmacy, but we've got a better combination of the other 2 supports, basically. And then, if we go with that, then also, like, McCree changes to another tank, like, Zarya, Diva, something, you know, just another tank, basically. And then there's the other world we go in where we stay, like, basically like this, but McCree just changes to another tank as well. And we keep with, like, what we've got right now. So, like, there's a few ways it goes. Like, this is fine, but ideally Anna is playing Mercy instead, I would say. Because then we can have Zenyatta and Bridget, which is a good cut. Like, that's like the archetypical triple support lineup, basically. So that would be ideal from my perspective. But there's a few different ways that team comp shakes out. And, like, this one is, broadly speaking, fine, also. So, next question is real close. So I can tell you right now that we were just talking about this. The next question is, was it a good decision to go with the rest of my team, or should I have gone with Farah on the right instead? You should stay with Farah. Like, if your team has got a main healer and a bridge, like, if your team has got 2 supports with them, you don't also need to be there with them, right? You can just go off and stick with Farah basically the whole time with this team composition, because the rest of your team should be fine without you. And that looks like it was the last question attached to this. So, yeah, we go off this way. Like, there's no need for us to go this way. They're gonna be fine. They've got an Anna and a Bridget over here, so they're gonna be fine. Even if like they were Anna, even if they were Bridget Zenyatta, you'd still be able to go with the Farah, because they still have, even though they like one of them isn't a main healer, they still have 2 healers, right? So, and Bridget, an AoE healer, like, you just think about it, right? Like, if 4 people are going over here, but 2 of them are healers, it's like half of the people going over there are healers. You don't need to also go over there with them at that point. So you can just hang out with Farah the whole time with this team composition, basically. Basically, that's kind of the point of triple support in general, is kind of like, Mercy pockets the one, because it's typically 1 DPS, but the 1 DPS is almost always Hanzo or Farah, because they're 2 of the highest damage DPS. And basically, the idea behind it is just that Mercy damage boosts the DPS as much as possible, because they already do a lot of damage. And then the other 2 supports should be able to heal the rest of the team, and then Mercy can still heal the others as necessary as well. That's basically the idea. And also just, like, Bridget makes people fucking hard to kill regardless because of how Bridget is. So we've captured the first checkpoint, hooray. We captured it really quickly, so we've got the ult advantage on them. Again, we just want to hang out with Farah as much as possible. Especially for this checkpoint. Farah's, like, way better at this checkpoint than the first checkpoint, in my opinion. So, they've got a D.Va on their team, which makes it a little bit more difficult for Farah, but if we're with the Farah, she'll never die, to the D.Va. So, she's over here bullying people around. We're, like, real concerned with what's happening over here. Just stick with the Farah. There's no need to come over here, to be honest. Like, what is happening right now? Everything, did I just lower the speed? No, oh, Jesus Christ. There's no need to be concerned with what's going on. Oh god, we've gone back way too far, way too far. There's no need to be concerned with what's going on over there, because, like, nobody's gonna die, right? Like, nobody's anywhere even approaching their team over there. Everybody's full health over here. They still got healers over here. Just stick with the Farah. She's bullying. She's in, like, prime location right now to bully the rest of their team around. So if we're just over there with her, she just bullies them around even better from that position, because she was in, like, A+ Farah position to bully them right there. Their whole team was distracted with, like, McCree using Deadeye and the rest of our team pushing in on them, and Farah was, like, above where they're going to retreat into, so they're just left with no good option. So that would have been better to do right there. So, but we captured both the checkpoints. They've only got 3.5 minutes, so things are looking good, you know. We've still got 1.5 minutes left as well. Things are looking real good. Like, at this point, I'm pretty much sitting back in my chair like, yeah, like, things are gonna have to go real fucking bad for us to lose this game at this point. Bare minimum, like, I see almost no way we lose. I see a world in which we draw from this position, but I would be very surprised if we lost from this position. Especially, like, once a game goes, like, 4 rounds on a 2CP map, like, one team just starts getting fatigued, you know? So, like, and then, like, that happens, so that's gonna be, they're gonna be super stoked about that one. So I think our team comp is the same right now. I didn't actually look, I was distracted. Bridget died right there. She died way too far up. We can't res her. Oh, no, 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 no. She did not die in a remotely resable location right there. We cannot do that one. Fucking Hanzo was like, what? She's actually coming up for that one? So we kind of got away with it. So, I think our team comp is the same. Yeah, it is. So we can just kind of hang out with Farah again still the entire time, because the rest of our team should be just perfectly fine. We see Reinhardt's really low health over there. We do manage to get to him. Nobody was really... tragic. Oh, tragic, tragic, tragic. He just got, like, spiked. Unfortunate. He shouldn't be up here still. Like, he's standing in a dumb location. We can't res him because, like, Reaper and everybody was right next to him. Oh, we were thinking about going for it. Could we have done it by that point? Did Reaper jump down? Because we can't do it right now because Reaper's still right there. That's the problem right there. Does Reaper jump down? Reaper does jump down, so we could go for it now. Yeah, we could have resed him after that point, because Reaper was the only reason we couldn't res him previously, and Reaper jumped down from there, so we could have gone for it. Up out of the way right there, like, their team's short range, Reaper jumped down. We wouldn't die from that position. Reaper was the only reason we couldn't do it previously. I like to repeat myself a good 3 or 4, 7 times every time I make a point. You know, it's just how I am. So, but as we can see, things are going pretty well. By this point, they're getting tilted. Like, you know how the Overwatch community is. They're getting tilted by this point. Only a minute and a half-ish left for them. 2 quarters, or 3 quarters. Saying a minute and a half was a pretty egregious amount of rounding. But, like, at this point, they're just kind of coming in one by one and getting staggered, and, Bridget died over there. Couldn't really res her. Farah was in the vicinity, so couldn't really get away with that one. But a bunch of them are dead right now anyway. We've got Valkyrie if we really need it. Their Mercy's using Valkyrie, but most of their team is currently still not here because they keep getting staggered. The enemy team's helping us out at this point. Like, at this point, they're just really scattered and chaotic and not really, working together anymore at this point. If their Mercy's dead immediately. Bridget died, like, as soon as she got back. We could do that one. We could res her for this one. Yeah, there we go. Fine. Small efficiency increase. When you're resing somebody as Mercy, you don't need to be looking at the person. So start spinning. And the reason to do that is because your head, if you're rotating around constantly, it's harder to headshot you, basically, is the reason. So it just makes you slightly more survivable. And sometimes that matters. Sometimes the fact they didn't headshot you is the reason that you survived. So, you know, small efficiency increase. It doesn't really take anything to do it, so it's just kind of something that's, like, worth doing, basically, every time, because it doesn't really take any effort. Was that our Reinhardt that Earth Shattered? Damn. That was a legendarily bad Earth Shatter. Like, I actually couldn't believe our Reinhardt did it. Like, he was like, fuck Mercy and Lucio. Oh, fuck. Just right between the middle of them. So, we died. I was busy thinking about why Reinhardt was bad. Why did we die? Sorry, I punched the table. Just didn't get out of the way of the self-destruct in time. Tragic, indeed. A lot of people dead on our team right now. It's not the end of the world if we lose that checkpoint. We're going to lose that checkpoint. It's not the end of the world. They're going to have 30 seconds to capture this next one. And they used some ultimates to make it happen as well, so it's going to be hard for them to just snowball it across. Bare minimum, like, they're going to finish in overtime. So again, we're like basically destined to draw from this position at absolute worst as I see it. Because there's like no way they capture this out of overtime. And I always find it very liberating and freeing to think I can no longer lose this game. At worst, I can just not win. But I can't lose anymore. So, their Mercy died right at the start. Farah did manage to kill a couple people. Yeah, might as well res someone. Most of them are dead at this point. I would rather res Reaper than Reinhardt at this position. And the reason for that is just because Reaper's a DPS, so theoretically he should be able to kill people faster than Reinhardt if necessary. But at that point it was like such an insignificant point to make, really, because like we've definitely won by that point. So this was a game that we won, but it was really close regardless. So it's still, you know. Nano-boosted Bridget is actually terrifying. Like, just Bridget running at you with, like, Rally Active is already scary, but then she's nano-boosted as well? Oh, God. And, like, imagine the absolute nightmare scenario, right? Nano-boosted Bridget running at you, speed-boosted by Lucio. Actually an unstoppable Titan that's gonna rip through your whole team. It's actually a terrifying thought. I was just reminiscing fondly for a moment there about the old Beyblade strats back when Nano Boost had the speed boost on it. Ah, good times. It was actually terrible, because you would just Nano Boost the Reinhardt, and there would be almost nothing you could do about it. Except hope your Ana tranked him, and he didn't get immediately woken up again, which he probably did, because he was a big, glowing German Ran running at your entire team. So he was, weirdly enough, the focus of the majority of your team's fire. So, I can't think of a recurring thing to point out that kept happening, but I've also been talking for 41 minutes, and we kept stopping to talk about questions and team compositions and all kinds of foolishness, so... So anyway, thank you very much for watching if you did. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm more than happy to answer. If you felt I answered any of your questions inadequately, please let me know and I will try to expand further. If you haven't already, you can join our Discord and ask questions more directly and have a conversation about them, or just shitpost with us. And I hope you found the video helpful.